Hello and welcome to the Horror House Podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jeff.
And we got our first failure of the night.
I'm Tim. Hey, we're working through it, baby.
Hey, when you start off there, all you can do is go up. So we're doing it, man. We're working on some push to talk shenanigans tonight. Clean up some things. But here's the names, in case audio isn't your best friend. And we can. But yeah. Here we are. We're four guys. Like to talk about some horror stuff, man. Movies, TV, and movies, mostly. Some real life things. Nobody's pushing to talk as much now, so it really feels like I'm lost in space in a way.
Yeah,
You're on your own, Chris.
We that's what we do. I need to pull up my list for what I watched, actually.
But tonight, we are going into the Twilight Zone. Sing it, Dave.
Now I'm heading into the Twilight Zone. Faces and places. I'm on my own. Ain't got no connection. Can't get through. Where are you?
That's Spider-Man. Black Sabbath wrote Iron Man.
I loved it. 10 out of 10. Now, to spice things up even more, Dave, sing the 2 Live Crew song you were talking about.
Get your own fucking ride home, bitch.
I'm being your special effects man, as you.
You ain't getting no pussy, cause you ain't got no money.
Bitch. I didn't know you was going to use the P word. I put my glasses on so I could reflect your vibes. I don't know what that even means.
I think that's what you're going for.
Tim, where's your glasses at? I want to see the glasses bros in action.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Mine are in Jen's, my wife's car.
Oh, so you're using them IRL. Hold on, Tim. Hold on. Turn around. Take them off. Turn around. And then one of you guys has to summon us. Say something cool that we'll want to turn around for.
Okay, I'll tell you. Don't turn around yet. Don't touch and turn around.
Damn.
Jeff, I like it.
It goes with the hat really well, too. You're muted
Me
as
and Dave
shit.
coordinated this.
Yeah.
I'm having a heart attack. I'm over here pushing the fucking bar, telling you guys to turn around. Ain't no fucking sound coming out.
Since Spacebar is equipped to so many things and Windows, you're probably going to want to change that button.
I'm going to change it to my clitoris.
Hey, whatever you got to do, man. You won't be able to find that button. But it's...
I thought Dave had the rim shot lined up for the soundboard, but I don't think I got the... okay. No, there it is.
Got it.
All right. We got...
So, fun fact, we're trying to push to talk now.
It's
So that we don't echo off each other or, try to not necessarily talk over each other less. We kind of want to talk over each other more, but we just don't want the background stuff going on or whatever. So, like when my wife comes in here and yells at me because Orion's been up and scream, or my son, another thing I'm trying to stop doing. My son gets up and starts screaming, and she needs me. Don't need that.
The real reason is because the people who keep burgling Jeff every week have filed a lawsuit because they didn't intend to be broadcast on the air. So
That's it. That's all it is that frivolous lawsuit.
Jeff, I'm starting to think that it's an insurance thing you're working on, and I don't know.
We're all going to be indicted at some point.
Ixnay on the insurance Amskay.
Pig Latin was not my mother tongue.
So we did a.
I'm doing this too much. These got to stay away from me for a second.
We did like a State of the Union meeting last week amongst the group there, and we kind of went over, vision and things of that nature, and protocol and things like that. And now, so my new mission in life is to find something that sets Jeff off. I don't know what it's going to be. I think my guess was that he doesn't think that Santa's elves are really elves. They're actually like Norse fairies or something. He didn't react to that at all. Goblin. So that wasn't it. Or goblins. I don't know. I'm going to find it. Whatever sets him off, I'm going to find it. And then like, we're going to get like this amazing unicorn episode where Jeff doesn't shut the fuck up for 3 hours because I found the thing that sets him off. So that's my new mission in life. So I'm going to say a lot of weird shit and then suddenly do this and look up at Jeff to see if he reacts. That's my new thing. That's my whole shtick in this show now.
Let's all do the cue at one time and look at Jeff. 3, 2, 1. When that happens, that's going to be
beautiful,
big business.
Beautiful time.
That's a shirt, Jeff. That even though it's really your shirt that's focused on you, we still have to split the royalties because that's just how America works.
We need our faces like the Kiss shirt or the Queen shirt, except we're all looking at Jeff. Including Jeff looking at a second Jeff.
It was super funny. The next day, I was telling my wife about our chat and everything and like kind of the things we decided on. I was like, hey, I'm going to start streaming some video games, but not really streaming. I'm just going to record them, send them to Chris or whatever. And I was like, I told her, I was like, I asked Jeff a question and it came off, I think, really shitty. I was like, Jeff, are you passionate about anything? Because I mean it. I meant it in earnest, right? I was like, what are you really passionate about? Because I don't know Jeff as well as the other guys do. So I'm trying to find his buttons so I can kind of push them a little bit. And I was like, thank God Dave was there because Dave knew what I was going for was like, he wants to legitimately know what's your thing? Like, what do you love or whatever? And I was like, but I was like, the way I said it, I was like, I feel like it came off super shitty at first. And that was not in any way, shape or form what I was going for.
Let's go live now. Let's go live now to Jeff's reaction to this.
No, it's fine. I understand what you're doing.
I just want to push buttons. Dave's easy. I just don't laugh at one of Dave's jokes.
I never.
What about my buttons? How do you
your buttons?
What is my you got Dave. What's the Chris button?
I think the Chris button, I mean, you're so
telling
nuanced.
Him he kind of resembles Charles Bands.
Chris is such a nuanced person.
We had a good run. I love you guys.
Yeah, it's
I love two of you guys.
That's what I live for. That's what I live for.
I was gonna say, like, I think I was diving into a joke. I was like, you're so nuanced. I think your button is mainly just disagree with you at any point in time, and you're like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I can't believe you would
offend. You guys
are
fucking dumb.
You're offending my culture and the generations that came before me by saying these things.
No. He hams it up a little bit, guys, but that's his thing. Just disagree with him. So if you're in chat,
what are you doing right now?
This is my watching.
Chris is very passionate about humanoid porcupine ladies.
So
I'm going to show this. We make it educated on every platform. I'll do it way far back, so I've always got it close at hand. Zoom in, kids. You can show it to your classmates and be like, I saw titties.
But no, if you guys
like those playing cards.
Watching this on YouTube, definitely get in the comments and just say that point this is the comment. That point that Chris made is wrong. Just say that. Just a wall of that. would brighten my day immensely.
Horrible.
But yeah, we had a good chat last week. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, that's why we weren't here last week. So just it, Chris is now comatose. So yeah, so that's something you guys look forward to though, is that the whole gaming thing. I am gonna try and film like 30 minutes of just like a let's play, where I talk to myself and shit on myself the entire time, which should be fun. And then just
One boy, one cup.
basically, and then just send it to the group and have them do whatever they want with it. And I assume there'll be a lot of fellatio in and around my mouth in the videos. We'll find out. I don't know.
We're getting all of the big beats done early so we can be classy for
Right.
the zone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I did buy all of the Resident Evil games on Steam. I've played them on their various consoles, but I didn't have them all on Steam, and they were all on sale. So I got them. So I
Oh,
can
nice.
start. I can start with 0 and go all the way through Village, and
That's kind of
have a good time.
that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool because
Yeah.
I
thought
a lot of those earlier ones I would love to see the end of them and see the story parts.
right.
I don't want to play them myself.
Sure, I'll replay them. It's fine. The only one that I didn't find was Code Veronica X, which is a great game. It's really weird, but it's a great game. But it's not on there, so
I may have that on my
I'm gonna
Steam.
emulate that one.
Be careful when you Google that. I've seen some stuff.
Right. But yeah, I think I may just start with Resident Evil 0 and then go to the Resident Evil HD remaster, and then I'll do I'll probably do the remakes, so Resident Evil 2 remake, just because they're more fun. And I think it'd be more fun to watch probably. Resident Evil 3 remake, Resident Evil 4 remake,
Okay.
Resident Evil 5 and 6. I may have to subdue one of you guys to do a co-op run with me. And then we can, 7
I
and Village.
swapping that with your brother.
Oh yeah, was he a loot stealer?
No, he was so young that it was difficult to.
Yeah.
coordinate.
The tank controls on 5 can be a little difficult for people. I played through that with my wife. I think she's the only person I played through that with with my wife. But my wife's a gamer, so it wasn't any issue. But hopefully, my son gets into a little bit of the horror gaming at some point in his life, and we can play through some classics.
Hell yeah.
You know, boys, it's times like this I like to say it's time to move into the newsroom. To the newsroom!
The newsroom.
Can't
That
lie.
was hot.
It took me a second to find the button.
That was hot, and I could hear it the whole time that time. Like, it didn't cut out at any point. And the little zombie growl at the end. Maybe that's always been there. I've never heard that.
Oh.
That was fantastic.
I did so much work on everything. It's great. Dave, you've got the news this week, so deliver us.
Just a couple little things this week is 2 trailers, new teaser trailer for Conjuring Last Rites. So this is supposed to end the current Conjuring series. This is supposed to be the last one, and of course it is a true account of their last biggest case. I'm in on the Conjuring movies. Some are good, some are not, but they're all usually pretty entertaining for at least one good watch. So I'm in. There is a trailer out now. That how do you guys feel about The Conjuring? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Quick show or quick comment?
I like The Conjuring quite a bit.
Jeff, have you watched any of them?
Not all the way through.
I think the woman in them is very attractive, so it's easy to watch. But horrorly speaking, they touch and go. Not the best, not the worst. Popcorn horror, but not like in a slashery way.
I like popcorn horror, so I'm a little bit biased, but yeah.
I think with the actual Conjuring movies, there's not really a sense of danger. It's Ed and Lorraine Warren's going to survive, and everything's going to be happy at the end. I think that even though they're maybe not as good movies overall, some of the other movies actually have more of a sense of danger. Annabelle Beginnings, some of those, the Nun movies, Nun 1 is really good. Nun 2.
I would say none more better. do the fucking Who scream for me. We'll put that back in.
Push to talk ruined that moment. Thank you.
It's going to be so easy to put that scream right on top, though. So in a way,
there it is.
Dave, your people are calling for you.
Nice.
Why do they not have it on Discord to where you can pop out the soundboard? That is a feature that 100% should be in this fucking thing.
The next trailer I want to bring up is based on a Stephen King short story, The Long Walk. I'm not even watching this trailer because you can call me don't even watch trailers, Don. I don't watch trailers. I just enjoy the movies. And that's me with this. I don't need to watch the movie. I don't need to watch the trailer. I'm in 100%. The Long Walk is one of my favorite short stories. What do you guys think about The Long Walk? Have you read the short story? Have you seen the trailer?
I know of the story, but I've never read it. But I know of it, and I'm intrigued.
I've not read it.
I've listened to the audiobook. It was really good.
Would you want to watch a movie of it now that you know that you're the more learned of us with the performance of it? So do you think it would be translate to a movie? Well,
oh yeah, definitely would translate to a good movie.
Is that a prequel to The Running Man?
You would think, but they are both set in a dystopian future, so they let Dave work on that, and Dave will put these stories into one universe.
There we go.
Macaulay Culkin goes for a long walk, and then learns how to dance the Running Man.
Wouldn't it be his more popular brother at this point? The other one?
Kieran Culkin?
Kieran.
Yep.
Tyrone Culkin?
I think, guys, to add to Dave's Culkin verse, he dies at the end of Running Man. He becomes a demon in hell, and those burglars from Home Alone are actually in hell, and they have to continuously fight against this demon that just keeps outsmarting them and outwitting them and making them feel like terrible, terrible human beings. So Macaulay Culkin is actually a demon in hell in Home Alone.
Okay.
Where does Adam Sandler come into this? I'm glad you asked and mentioned the audiobook, because I'm going to throw in a surprise, even to me, fourth piece of news. I started listening to audiobooks this week at work instead of my regular news podcast, and I'm currently listening to...
Jeff, join me. One of us.
I'm currently listening to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
The Dan Stevens one?
Very nice.
I'm not sure. I don't even know who did the narration.
I listen to Michael Ian Black's
Oh.
podcast. He reads it. So
I wish it was Michael Ian Black. That would be gold.
Yeah, I like him quite a bit.
It would make these first 3 chapters tolerable, because the first 3 chapters of this book are fucking intolerable.
yeah, listen to the podcast Obscure with Michael Ian Black. It's the second season. He reads it. And he just talks about it a little bit, but he reads through the book with you. So it's pretty good.
That's cool.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Last piece of news is a little bit of Halloween Horror Nights news. You know how big I am on the Halloween Horror Nights. Woo woo!
Can we get that? Can we get that excitement one more time for the YouTube edit?
Halloween Horror Nights! Ah!
Boo, 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 boo. Hold on, we can go a level deeper. Dave, say enhance, and then do it all over again.
Enhance! Oh my god.
Watching Chris meticulously put the camera back after doing that.
It's got to be right.
I get it.
We understand. We understand.
But did you like the slowdown? It didn't just stop. I slowed it down.
Yeah.
That's a director with purpose.
Crescendo. It's a crescendo.
Yeah.
Universal accidentally posted some dates on the website and then took them down like 30 minutes later, but people got some screenshots. Halloween Horror Nights is going to start sooner than it ever has before, with something going on August 25th. I'm really hoping that this is going to be the premium Scream Night. We know the premium Scream Night is coming. They've released some things accidentally already saying that this is coming. They just haven't released the actual date. But then this that they released makes it seem like that date will be August 25th. Also, accidentally, some text came up that mentioned 2 of the houses. So we have pretty much 2 confirmed IPs. The Fallout TV show and Five Nights at Freddy's. I've been telling you that's coming, and I predicted the Fallout as well based on the early speculation map.
For the uninitiated, Dave, what is the premiere night thing that you mentioned? What is that?
Premium Scream Night is a ticket that's about 3 times more than a typical Halloween Horror Night ticket. But they only sell about 15% of capacity for that night. And free fucking food all night long at all of the vendors.
That's dope.
That
kind of pays for the 3 times, really.
Matt and the other she who shall not be named actually went with us to a meetup before, and Jeff and Angie has gone to the meetups. So the premium Scream Night is like a Orlando Informer meetup, but with Halloween Horror Nights.
Nice.
Am I wrong, Jeff? Did you go to the meetup with us?
Yeah, we went to meet up with you guys. It was fun.
The meetups are random weekends where it's 15% capacity tickets, ultra long nights. They go till 2 o'clock in the morning and free fucking food. But the meetups are the regular food at the regular places. You just get it free. The Halloween Horror Nights Premium Scream Night is the special Halloween horror themed food for free. So like a couple years ago, the cotton candy flavored hot dogs in the confetti cake bun with the sour marshmallow ice cream on top of it was one of the food items. It was much better than it had any reason to be.
Cotton candy flavored hot dog
Bun.
Yeah, it was like they boiled it in cotton candy Kool-Aid.
Wait. Wait, hold on. Start over with this hot dog. I'm confused.
The hot dog. The bun was confetti cake. The hot dog was cotton candy.
Yes, and then it had a sour mint ice cream like relish on it.
You can't mix sour and mint. They're mutually exclusive flavors.
It was better than it had any business being, I promise.
Oh, Dave, you sound fat.
I don't sound fat. I am fat.
We talked about this last week. Why am I the fat one? It should be Halloween Horror Nights. They're like, I want something sour and sweet.
Can you mix sour, minty, and cotton candy, whatever flavor that is?
Mint and sour. That's never even a wire that's crossed in my brain before.
No.
I don't even know how to handle that information.
Those are like completely opposing flavor profiles.
Last year, they had a Korean corn dog rolled in Rice Krispies and then had bugles sticking out of it that represented the icicles from the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And then they also had the bugles in it was unnaturally cold ice cream. So it wasn't just like temperature cold. It was like menthol cold in your mouth. Ice cream with bugles.
I do want to say bugles are the most underrated corn chip out there. Just so everyone is clear on that.
I think I would agree. And they fit on your fingies.
Yeah, everyone remembers being 9 years old and be like, I have claws.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're deteriorating. I don't even know if I said that word right.
I have a confession.
I've never had a bugle.
Not until last year. I'm not big on chips, man. You give me some Grippos and I'm golden, or some fucking Fritos to scoop cottage cheese, something like that. But as a batter, of course, like, chips don't generally excite me very much.
Chris, if you shit on cottage cheese right now, I'm going to be real fucking annoyed, because cottage cheese is delicious. Throw some pepper.
Jeff, back me up right now. Jeff, back me up right now.
Guys, get in the comments.
Cottage cheese is with pineapple.
Okay, so Jeff is 75 years old, but I used to work at Steak and Shake. I don't know who orders cottage cheese with pineapple.
You're 72 because you're like, they're good with this though. And I'm like, hey, seniors, pick up your teeth.
Throw some pepper. Throw some pepper on some cottage cheese, baby. Oh my god.
Some little cherry tomatoes, cut them in half, put them in your cottage cheese.
There you go.
Pineapple, peaches.
I kid you not. Every week on Monday, I go out and get lunch for the week or whatever for work. I get a gigantic fucking tub of cottage cheese, and first thing I do when I get there in the morning, I have a little bit of V8 juice, low sodium, heart healthier, and fucking like 5 spoonfuls of cottage cheese. That's my breakfast almost every morning.
You don't need a spoon. You get you some barbecue pork rinds and scoop it up. And
we're going for low sodium. I can't do pork rinds low sodium.
Okay, so I'm the odd man out, always with cottage cheese. But I did finally get. We've kind of left the news now. Should we leave the newsroom and have like a little? Or do we want to finish?
Didn't you have one piece of news?
No,
Chris?
I think it was the Stephen King movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it here, and then we'll leave the newsroom and leave the chip talk behind. I got Lay's all-dressed chips the other day, and I'd heard about them for years. It's a big Canadian flavor, and I know it was a big hodgepodge of all these flavors. And I saw them at the store. I was like, oh, I've always wanted to try these. And I'm reading the, it's like sour cream and onion, salt and vinegar, which is my favorite, barbecue, put together. And I'm like, the more I think about it, the more I'm afraid for my life to try these. So I tried one. I've only tried one. I opened the bag. It's been 4 days since I've tried that one chip.
I didn't think they were awful. I did try them. I am into trying new flavors of chips and soda, and I didn't think they were all that bad. You want something good though? Get you.
Push talk, Dave. Push talk, Dave.
Late night taco Loritas from Doritos. You can get them.
These things are fucking great.
We got some everything bagel pretzel chips from Aldi. Phenomenal.
Shout out Aldi. Push to talk is my favorite thing right now. Oh my god, it's my favorite thing.
Not hearing that bullshit. Hey, real quick, guys. You want to see Dave get pissed? Ate at Kuma's today, Dave.
You son of a bitch.
You're welcome.
I mean, I guess me and Jeff don't mean shit now, right, Jeff? What is this?
I mean, I know. I think Jeff's been to Kuma's, and Chris, I know you've been to Kuma's.
A couple times, yeah.
Kuma's is awesome. But yeah, I went there today. Oh, I meant to take a picture and I forgot. They had a big banner of Jepson Malort sit in the front lobby. I meant to take a picture of it and send it to you guys, but I forgot before we left. But
if we could ever get a sponsorship for this show, I feel like they have to be like the first
Jepson
one.
Malort.
Yeah. Use code HorrorHouse4 at checkout and maybe
pay $4 extra.
Yeah.
Sponsor the horror.
Oh gosh, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting.
I know it wasn't. Dave freaked me out with it.
So sometimes I know Fireball is one. Sometimes that when you get the little single dose of stuff, it's not the actual liquor, it's like a malt version. So I am actively looking for a big bottle of Jepson's. I stopped tonight to look for it and instead bought Jim Beam's Sunshine Blend. When you need a little sunshine with your breakfast, Jim Beam Sunshine.
Is there like egg yolk in it?
It is the most mild tasting bourbon I've ever drank.
Oh, really?
It's got a little
That's
bit
dangerous.
of it's got a little bit of a burn after. Like it doesn't.
I like that. I like a little bit of burn.
It's more like it hits your nose more than your throat even. So that's kind of weird.
That's why I like Jack Daniels so much, because of the throat burn. I'm a fan of that. So
I got this saving for the next thing I open. 3 Floyd's Blood
Make a
Forge
bourbon now?
bourbon. Yeah, it's a straight
Interesting.
bourbon whiskey, 102 proof. So that'll be the next thing I open.
That's too much.
No, I like turkey. The 101 Turkey 101. It actually tastes better than the regular turkey.
All right, so
Hi, Febreze.
this will conclude the news segment, but we're not going to play the news intro just yet because, hey, yo, guess what? If you're watching us live right now, good thing you're watching us live because we're going to start cutting the news out of our YouTube episodes and fucking charging you to watch it later because that's what you earn for watching us live, bitch.
So either, free now, or
explain it. I gotta go, pee pee.
Okay. So we've been talking about, again, in our meeting last week, we were talking about, things, just process changes and stuff like that. And we talked about
meeting of the board of directors, the meeting of the board.
Meeting of the board. I'm sorry. Yeah, we had a meeting of the board. We were all really bored the entire time. No, I wasn't. None of us were. We were all well engaged. But we had some process changes.
I'm married.
That's fair enough. To
your mom.
That's also true, you son of a bitch. All right, but hey, I ate Kuma's today, so fuck you. God damn it. So we decided that we are going to cut the news out of the YouTube videos, and start a Patreon, and have the news segments on the Patreon, which I think we'll probably end up doing more of this like bantering back and forth about non-horror stuff in that segment as well, just because it'll be more fun for people who are paying. I think we're kind of deciding like $1 a month, like nothing insane. Just if you wanted to see those segments, if you like our personalities enough to pay $1 a month, you got that additional thing.
If you just want to support the show, what's
Yeah.
what's up?
You don't have to watch it. That's up to you. It's just for you. But we've thought about doing that. So, and currently we don't have a huge audience, but that's okay because one day we'll be super rich, and you guys wish you got on the ground floor. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. So, but yeah, that's kind of where we stood. I think we're looking at like $1 a month Patreon to see the news and get a little bit more of our personalities outside of doing a review of sorts. I long-winded that as much as I could, Chris. Please come back.
Get your ass back on the show, bitch.
Live from the bathroom.
Doing my best. Jeez.
That was the quickest poop in history.
Tell me about it.
I got that record, baby.
Tell me about it.
That's a story.
You pay that $1 a month though, and you may get it one day at this.
You may get it,
segment.
Yeah. The Tim's poop story.
But without further ado, anybody else need to relieve themselves before we get into the meat of this week's show? Now would be the time.
Yeah, I can always go to the bathroom.
I'll keep.
I'll be right back.
I'll keep it talking. Dave, sing "Arms of an Angel," since Tim can hear us while he pees. Hold on. Let's wait. Hold on. Give it just 10 seconds for him to get to the bathroom, and then we'll go off. I got an idea, like a vague idea. It's not barely an idea. And begin. It's not, I need you to begin. Begin now. He's going to pee so fast.
Sometimes, if I leave the Discord, then the talk to touch doesn't work. So here we go. In the arms of...
For pennies a day, you can buy jars of Tim's pee at Chris's Selling Tim's Pee at Chris.com.
Right,
if you get it on the ground floor,
sometimes he
you
has
have a monthly deal.
Pooping. And sometimes he poops really fast.
And Jeff will autograph the lids that I provide. And it will be...
everybody poops. Everybody pees. Sometime.
You are so basking in the street right now with that hat. That was phenomenal. That went a different direction. I had a whole pee and poop joke, but you took it to another level. And for that, it was all worth it.
Thank you, guys. I immediately switched streams to a jar to support the cause.
That's a real friend.
And if you join the Patreon now, you're in for a treat. See what I did there? You're in.
Oh. One last thing. You brought that up. I had a friend in high school whose last name was spelled exactly like urine. Exactly. But
were his parents arrested for child abuse for that?
They maybe should have been, but he had the whole task of his high school career when I knew him of saying, no, it's urine. It's a very Joe Dirt situation that he absolutely lived for real.
Don't you mean urine?
Yeah. And I've never looked who wrote Joe Dirt. Maybe I need to check that out because he may have had a hand in that because it is something I witnessed firsthand.
It's pronounced Aderte.
Bob Urine. That's Bobe Urine. This is Indiana. None of those words work that way. None of those letters work that way. All right. Let's get out of the newsroom and let us begin our talk on this week's episode. This is my pick this week. I picked this week. I did it. Let's go. There we have it. Dave, I feel like you're preparing for something.
Oh, I just got the worst hat hair of my life.
Oh, understandable. I'm feeling kind of weird right now, honestly. Is nobody else? I don't know. But this week we're talking about one of the seminal pieces of sci-fi and horror and social introspection, or whatever you want to call it, like some fancy word that I am not that sure of. The Twilight Zone. We're not talking about the 80s or the aughts, as the younger people say. Did I say that? I hate it. Or the Jordan Peele show, which has anybody watched the 80s or the 2000s or the newest iterations? Hands up. Anybody? Coca-Cola?
I have not.
They're I don't think they live up to their.
I have watched a few of the modern Jordan Peele ones. They were okay.
But tonight is all about the old black and white, the OG original Twilight Zone. Rod Sterling. God, I feel weird.
1959 to 1964. A shit ton of episodes though for that.
Yeah. And it was by today's standards, I mean, some people would think that that short of a show is maybe not even worth watching. It's like, it doesn't have 12 I'm not watching CSI Miami that has 4 million seasons over the past 27 years. With the guy that played Casey Jones in the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's
with the exact same plot for like 3 plots rotated 1,000 times a piece.
Yeah. But God, it's getting hot in here. Hold on. I'm like Dave right now. Excuse me. God, I'm losing my hair. Anyways.
Boys can't wear the nets too much. I need to let this heat out. I got too much.
Getting too much.
This madness. The women like to call it sexual tension.
Sexual chocolate. God, is it the Indiana weather? Something is fucking me up right now, you guys. Anyways, let's get into this. Episode. I'm gonna give us a little brief history. And then we'll see where. Tonight, the Horror House podcast is airing from a different dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of alcohol and questionable opinions. A journey into a wondrous land whose only boundary is Dave's ever-present button-up shirts. And the signal you're receiving, transmitted from a handheld Tim Pot for a very good price. And the message, one of fandom and friendship, as clear as a window that Jeff cleaned without his glasses. And up ahead, the words on your screen read, the Horror House Podcast presents The Twilight Zone. So let's talk about the Twilight Zone. I should have practiced my Rod Sterling before we got in this, but we're here. And we're living in the moment.
They can smoke that voice.
It's a good thing I've smoked my whole life since I was born. I don't know what Dave is doing right now.
Magic.
It's called magic.
Oh. We see a man practicing magic. But I'm going to throw out a quick brief history. Paragraph history. And then we got some things we're going to talk about. We're not experts on the Twilight Zone. Go elsewhere. If you want experts, the hardcore people that analyze episodes top to bottom, we're just going to talk about the show.
I'm sorry. I watched 2.5 hours of Twilight Zone today.
I understand how you may feel. I understand. Well, maybe by the end of this, you want to watch at least a half hour more of that. So, quick rundown, quick history for the Twilight Zone. So Rod Serling was a World War II vet, deeply affected by the war and the injustice, went on to become a TV writer in the 50s, but was having constant censorship of what he wanted to actually write and film, and it was super frustrating. Things play out, and he would learn that networks wouldn't touch social commentary, racism, political ideas, things of those kind of natures. But aliens and time travel, they're like, sign us up. We don't even read those scripts. And so, totally on board, and he kind of Trojan horsed these commentaries on the world in kind of the cloak of sci-fi and fantasy and in some instances horror. And it didn't start off great. The numbers were not great, but it would have been canceled by Netflix immediately. They'd have shown 2 episodes and been like, get out of here. But it did finally latch on, and to me, it's been latched on ever since in the DNA of so many like sci-fi and horror things from movies, TV, and still, I mean, it even just got another remake, or a reimagining from Jordan Peele a couple years ago. But this week is all about get out of here, bot. We don't want your views. I shouldn't have said that because now I got to edit that out, but I won't. We're going to talk about some episodes, some of the core ideas of the Twilight Zone, and what we think. So, first up, I guess let's just kind of dive into some episodes that we watched, that we like, that are our favorites. Anybody want to go first? What's one of yours that you really enjoy? We're not going to get into the minutia of each episode, but we'll skim the surface like fucking fighter pilot on the surface of the ocean or something.
The one thing I want to do before we dive into any episodes is talk about like the alliteration with Serling's monologues, like in the beginning and the end of each episode, are insanely well written. Like,
yeah,
insanely well written. So like before we like jump into anything about episodes, like every single time I was listening to those, like sort of with an analytical ear, and their choice of phrasing, his pacing as he reads it is also fantastic, but like their phrasing is really good. I actually have one here pulled up, a script of one of the episodes that I watched, which was To Serve Man. But I wanted to read that to you guys if I could here really quick, just because it's good in every episode. Before we get into like any episodes, that was one thing that kind of struck me, and I'm sure it strikes every fan of the series. But the Serling's voice at the end of To Serve Man, the very explicit and very specific differences in points of view to the wee ones, the little folk called man. I'm sorry, this is from To Serve Man. Little folk called man. It's a marvelous adventure, a voyage to another planet, an exciting sojourn. Who the fuck uses sojourn anywhere in fucking literature? To another section of the galaxy, but to the very large, granite-faced inhabitants.
That was all of the things at once to get us back into color. I'm sorry. I had to fucking hot rod this bitch. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Another section of the galaxy, but to the very large granite-faced inhabitants known as Canamites, it's nothing more than a cattle car. a very comfortable, a very comfortable provisions ship bringing food from the other end of the universe. Like I say, it's all in the point of view. I think this was the original script. This isn't, I don't think, what was actually aired. But again, it kind of goes into like the alliteration of it all, like with his voice in the start and end of every episode. It really makes you think, and it's really, really cool. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that before we get into like the deep dive of certain episodes is the vocabulary choice is just so fucking fantastic. It's so great.
A lot of the episodes pretty much established long-running tropes that we're still seeing in TV and movies today. And you know, I can only imagine that M. Night Shyamalan, as a little boy, watching the twists over and over, and just, you know, tearing his fucking dick off as he watches those episodes. And you know, the idea of, I'm going to put a twist on it.
Well, maybe we should. Okay, let's divert course here before we get into individual episodes. Let's talk about that a little bit and talk about like kind of the themes or tropes even of the show. So obviously the twist ending, which is a big thing. And it's not as simple as just being a twist ending for the whole thing. Like there's different types of twists. It's not all just like, and then they were all dead.
It's all about subverting expectations. So
Yeah.
like really 3/4 to like 90% of the way through the episode, you kind of think that you know what's happening. And there's a great episode that I watched called 5 Strangers Trying to Find an Exit. I've got the list here. 5 characters in search of an exit. That was one of the episodes I watched. And like halfway through it, I'm like, yeah, they're definitely like in purgatory or something, right? And then the ending happens, and I'm like, that is not what I was expecting. So it's like very much
Right.
subverting expectations. I think is the whole goal. And again, I think that's the whole goal of the series from the 6 episodes that I watched. So I liked that quite a bit.
That is, I mean, that is a big part of it. It's you get the twist, and I mean sometimes it's more of just a twist. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes things don't have to be that heavy, but then sometimes you're like, oh wow, that makes me feel something. That makes me look at humans a different way, which I don't know that I ever watched. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love Tales from the Crypt, but I don't think I ever watched Tales from the Crypt and was like, God damn, our society needs to do something. But watching this, 70 years old.
That's one of the beauties of the series, and that's what he wanted to subvert, that expectation, that societal expectation. I mean, minority characters getting an outside role instead of being left in the background. Women having a voice and autonomy, things like this. The idea of looking deeper at who we call enemies. Don't stand by me.
My bad.
So like, you know, he did such a great job with those, and you're right. Some of the twists are just kind of just there, like the old man and his wife go into the casino. I don't even remember the name of the episode. He tells her she's an idiot for even wanting to play a game of chance, and somebody leaves a coin, he puts it in the machine, wins a tiny bit, and then he's hooked until his eventual death. And so it's just like, okay, you know, it's just kind of the subversion, where other episodes are, you know, hey, this petty criminal is in heaven, he's getting everything he wants. Oh wait, that's not heaven, that's hell. become much deeper.
Jeff, how do you feel about the whole twist? In general, the twist kind of ending of the show.
No, it's good. I mean, you can't have a twist every time, and then you gotta like throw people off eventually by not having twists.
It can't all be the same every time, and I think even in 1959, somehow Rod Serling was on it, being like, every episode can't have the same ending. And there may be like vague similarities between the endings, but I can't think of an ending of a Twilight Zone episode. You give me two, and there may be like an overall like idea that they're kind of similar, but I don't know that any of them are like, oh, that was just a rehash of this episode. Maybe a Twilight Zone scholar could school us if there is something like that, but I don't know of anything like that.
That's even more impressive when you consider there's 156 episodes, and Rod Serling wrote 92 of them. M. Night Shyamalan was like, hold my beer, I can use the same twist 6 different times.
Is Bruce Willis doing anything?
He's a detective, and at the end, okay, for my next movie, there are superheroes, but at the end, the next movie is going to be a small village, but in the end, my next movie will be an alien invasion, but secretly.
He keeps saying they're all dead at the end, but he keeps letting go of his button before he finishes.
Which it kind of works with with M. Night. It makes total sense. I felt like it was part of the joke, even though I Dave, you kept me guessing. I don't know if it was or not, because it just made sense.
I was reading his lips, and yeah, they're all dead. Maybe. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. I probably should have said that before I revealed what Dave was saying. But they're all dead.
They're always all dead, or not. But some other core themes.
Secretly, they're all alive.
Or the opposite of that. But some other core themes of the Twilight Zone is some fear of the unknown, some aliens, some other dimensions, some time travel, which is great. Some human nature and morality, some Aesop's fables kind of a deal for a lot of it, which it to me is some of my favorites. Selfishness, hubris, like regret and redemption and this stuff. Like, they're not all like straight sci-fi and straight horror. There's some that are like, we'll get into the big talks of the episodes. I gotta write that one down so I don't forget it, because it just came in my head. We get some post-war anxiety, some paranoia and identity, nuclear fear, and then of course, like we've already talked about, some views on society at large and racism, conformity. So
you picture the late 50s into the 60s, and nearly every one of those sci-fi movies, the aliens were always to be feared, always very alien in appearance. And then Rod Serling comes along, and sometimes the aliens look like us, sometimes as giants, sometimes in other ways. Yeah, not to get too into all the episodes, but the Beholder, and they're not necessarily aliens, but an alien culture. So
yeah.
Really is you can't say enough about the guy, considering he was a trained weapon. Was Rod Serling, was he a Marine?
I'm not sure exactly of his World War II status. I'm not sure what he did exactly. I just know he was there, and If anybody wants to look that up before we're done, or any Twilight Zone experts. But Jeff, I wanted to hear from you because I know you're a big Alfred Hitchcock guy, and this was, I don't know the overlap. I'm sure there may be some overlap from Alfred Hitchcock Presents in this. I'm not exactly sure, or some of his movies even, but I feel like Hitchcock was more into the just suspense and tension, rather maybe than social commentary. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know exactly. But what? How do you feel Hitchcock compared to Twilight Zone? Because I'm really curious what your thoughts are on that. Before we get into some episode juiciness.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that he wasn't big on social commentary. It was just all about the whole suspense. There's a lot of different radio shows and stuff that just dealt with suspense and stuff. But like Rod Serling did the whole social commentary.
Do you see a do you? Since you're, I think we all do. We pegged you as the guy that is like the old school horror guy of the show. That's unfortunately that's your, or fortunately, I don't know how you feel about it. That's just what you are. Not that you don't enjoy things in the future.
I think Jeff has only seen horror movies after 2012.
Did we know that? Okay. But I, as the OG old school guy of the group, of the foursome, how do you generally feel about the themes of the Twilight Zone? I guess is what I'm asking. Like, is it something you're like, yeah, that's cool, or what are your general thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it's cool. I mean, a lot of it, I mean, didn't really delve into horror too much. But I mean, it's a pretty good show. It's very entertaining.
Where would you? Because I know you're a Hitchcock guy. Hitchcock, Twilight Zone. How you feeling? I have a feeling that you're gonna go a little more
Hitchcock.
I know. I knew it. And that's. I mean, we had a good show. I'll talk to you. No, I'm joking. But how funny would it be to get an end screen on Jeff? We've never done that before. First time for everything.
See,
I'm shocked.
Chris ends the show because Jeff doesn't agree with him. Weird. Who would have called that one?
I did that for comedy, not because I already expected it. So
yeah, that's fine. You did it to get that urge out. I get it. That's fine.
Hitchcock wasn't totally devoid of social commentary or social progressivism. You look at Psycho, and Janet Leigh as a starring role as a woman with her own agency who is steals from her employer and sets the chain of events going to start Psycho. So
spoilers
in a time when that wasn't a traditional female,
right? I mean, there's more subverting the expectation, which is always. Maybe that's should always be kind of an idea in the back of some people's heads. But let's shift a little bit. Let's go into some episodes, some of our favorites. We're not going heavy in each episode. We're going to kind of hit some pots and then go on. Let's not get too into the weeds. But what's some of your guys' favorites? Hit me up. Let me know. I'm on Instagram as the Chris. I am on the Twitters as I'm joking. Go ahead.
I was going to give you guys a list of which ones I've watched because I have not watched a lot of OG Twilight Zone.
You're the new guy here. You're kind of.
I watched it some as a kid because it was on TV Land every once in a while, and I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, and TV Land was always on. So I watched The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, Time Enough at Last, which is the one that I remember from a childhood, and I wanted to rewatch it. 5 Characters in Search of an Exit, It's a Good Life, To Serve Man, and there was one more that I watched, but it's not on my list here. But yeah, I watched 6 episodes in total. So 1, 2, 3, for. They're not on this list. Basically, I googled like the best of the Twilight Zone and used the AI search function to like give me the highest rated episodes, or whatever. And I
And
watched
there
all
is
of them.
not a single thing wrong with that, because every list that I've seen over the years, whenever I've wanted to watch some episodes, I'll search that. Nothing but bangers. Oh my god. It's like if you're like best Metallica songs and they only recommend songs off Master of Puppets, you're like it just is like, okay. Yeah. They're all great.
Yeah, it was good. I will say that 5 out of the 6 episodes were all in season 3. So apparently season 3 is the most banger season of Twilight Zone. But
Any
yeah,
of those
those are the
stand
ones
out that you want to talk about first?
Me personally,
Yeah, just like a theme or like the ending.
I think
or...
the monsters are due at Maple Street, which was from season 1.
Yeah.
was really good. It didn't. So I kind of figured out what was going to happen at the end about halfway through the episode.
Right.
I was like, there's no Amongst Us here. Like, it's
Right.
all just them fucking freaking out. I kind of figured that out. I didn't realize at the end the aliens were going to just be observing. I didn't see that coming.
Right.
But again, I think that was more of a plot device to sort of like give a narrative being like, yeah, these people are all fucking crazy. If one thing goes wrong, they all just fucking turn on each other. Very, very Lord of the Flies-esque, bullshit. Which I didn't look it up. I meant to. I was curious if Lord of the Flies or this came out first. Because Lord of the Flies sort of has this whole like, who's the one, sort of thing mixed in with this whole, community narrative. So that was interesting to me. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really fun. The
Lord of the Flies was way first.
Oh, was it?
I mean, not way first, like 5 years before the show.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I like that sort of community expectation. I think it still stands very true to this fucking day. Which was another thing that really, because politics are so polarizing nowadays. Like, we're really in the second like sort of Red Scare, where it's like if you have a differing political belief, that you are kind of martyred, unfortunately. And this is kind of the same thing. Like, if you have something that's an oddity about you, you're singled out as a traitor instantaneously, which I don't think is the correct way to go about anything whatsoever. But I really liked the episode. I thought it was great. I will say it's funny. So my wife, I like old movies. I like Cool Hand Luke is one of my all-time favorites. The Great Escape, shit like that. I love those movies. My wife doesn't like them because of how outwardly they talk. There's no quiet moments, right? There's not a lot of whispering in old movies because they didn't have the audio technology to pull that off. So they talk with their chest like this the entire time, and they're talking like this, and like, you, Jeremy, you're the one. Like, and it's,
what do you mean I'm just a woman? I'm a teacher and a mother.
Right. There's a lot of that talking with your chest, that chest shit. And so the entire time I'm watching it, I'm kind of chuckling to myself, which led to a little bit of levity just for me personally, because I'm like, my wife would hate this because they're all just like, it's you're the one that did it. And it's very much, that 50s ad men sort of speech the entire time, which is it's super fun to watch, especially if you didn't grow up that sort of time period, because it is a different way of acting. So
it was, it was just a different way of talking in general too, because a lot of these older movies or older TV shows that we watch, sometimes I have to like think like, what would the audience of that time have thought of this? Or how would they have, like, you watch Frankenstein or something this day and age, doesn't hit the same way it did in 1939 or whatever. So you gotta kind of be like, It's like it's not scary to me so much, but maybe like to a kid in the 40s, maybe they're dead. Well, they are. They are.
Polio. Yeah, did any of you have you guys watched that episode?
Monsters on Maple Street is one of the. I would almost going out on a limb and say it's maybe top 3 of all time.
I agree. It's got to be one of the
At least for
most well-known episodes of all time. One of the most reviewed and talked about episodes. So, and it is very much you mentioned the Red Scare, and this is very much that story. Something goes wrong, and we're immediately pointing fingers at our friends, our neighbors, who we barbecued with, who we live with, who we love and cherish in our circle.
Paranoia.
And that paranoia of the time comes through. I don't think today is any different, but I think it is the same cycles that we continue to see. Luckily, every time these cycles pass, we generally get a more unified culture out of it, a more solid society taking care of everybody. Peace, love usually follows this kind of what we're in now. So hopefully we can just not slide too far and then bounce back.
But I think it's a great episode. Still, I don't know that's ever stopped resonating. Jeff, have you seen Monsters Are Due on Maple Street?
I don't think so. Not
it
for
is.
sure.
I think we would all 3 highly recommend it if you ever are on a Twilight Zone bender. Why don't you start us off with like one you enjoy? What's one of your favorites?
I looked up some obscure episodes. So the first one that came up was one with Dennis Hopper called "He's Alive."
I'm not sure if I know that one.
Season 4. I think it was like episode 1, season 4, where it's Dennis Hopper's like a neo-Nazi, and he's trying to get stuff started, and so there's a guy in the shadows that's like giving him advice, which you find out later on it's Hitler. It's like the ghost or spirit of like Hitler.
Right. I vaguely remember.
Like,
yeah.
I need to watch this episode.
It is pretty good.
And
it's like his only friend is basically this old Jewish guy. So it is really good.
Why is, I mean, would you say you like that when you said you picked up a list and you're like, let me check this one out? I mean, is it something that, what's your feeling of it? Like the themes of it? Is it like looking at the social ideas at the time? How do you feel? What are your observations of it?
Yeah, it's basically like, he's trying to get, he's like a young man who's just, not had a very good life. And so he, results to like the political activism and of like different people like Hitler and Stalin and trying to get stuff started, trying to be like, oh, all these people that we don't want, trying to take their point of view and then restart things up. And he's not a good speaker. He's not starting off well. And then the guy from the shadows kind of shows up and only he sees him. And he just gives him advice like, oh, here, you got to make sure everybody thinks everyone's against us, not you personally, but we're all in trouble. And so he starts taking this advice, and he starts getting more popular. And this old Jewish guy, he used to take care of him, Dennis Hopper, when he was younger. and it's like his only like little friend, but he keeps saying stuff that's basically like against him.
Can you?
Is this? Hold on. Is this the autobiography of Andrew Tate? Because it sounds like the autobiography of Andrew Tate.
Was there human trafficking at any point? Now, can you? Do you think that touches any kind of chords in a modern day? Do you think that would like resonate if they did like a Jordan Peele version of that now?
Now it'd be Trump. You know, I really feel like it does kind of resonate to today's society, because it's basically, you know, Trump being like, oh, they're all against us. You know, we got to get rid of the illegals. We got to get rid of these people, and this and that. I really still feel like it resonates with today's society.
Hold on. Are you saying the MAGA movement is akin to a neo-Nazi movement?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. We're in agreement there. Okay, cool.
I don't know what you may have heard, God damn it, but listen. What's that hat mean? For Elon? Legalized comedy. also marriage of cousins a little bit. I don't know.
Free speech unless you're criticizing deer leader.
Yeah. We only deport people
got
who
hacked.
wrote op-ed pieces.
Rod Serling would have a field day, perhaps, with current
Oh my God.
events. But
I want this man. I'm gonna create an AI chatbot and just
I would love
fucking just do commentary on the current administration.
that. Dave, why don't you hit us up with one of your like top tier Twilight Zone episodes that we have not touched on yet?
You actually put it in the Discord, and it's Eye of the Beholder.
Oh yeah,
Which
my
I think
man.
is a great episode. It becomes, I at least to the modern eye, I think it becomes fairly early, fairly obvious, fairly early that there's something else going on. One, if you've watched any Twilight Zone episodes before, but also the girl with her face bandaged, and they are never showing the face of the doctors and the nurses, and she's just so ugly. She's so fucking hideous. We're gonna send you to a place where you and the other hideous people can frolic free without, you know, tainting the pure bloodline that we have. They don't quite say it like that, but you know, it's implied that we don't want, you know, your ugly genes getting mixed in our beauty genes.
Dave, we're talking about the Twilight Zone, not C-SPAN from yesterday.
Oh, true. And then you get the reveal. She looks normal. And it's the doctors and nurses who have the, by today's standards, kind of ridiculous, like pigmanish prosthetic makeup thing going on.
Yeah. I love that. I almost bought a shirt at Horror Hound. Shout out. God, I had to lift my shirt so high. I felt like
I was
It's the
hoping to see
same
some-
image, Dave. Look at that.
I was hoping to see
That's
some
cool.
belly, but the camera doesn't go low enough.
I can't show that without.
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans.
Oh, by the way, guys, check out our OnlyFans. Exactly.
I love that
feed all the
episode.
time.
I love that episode because it resonates with me because it's kind of a look at one's own identity. Like, how do you view yourself? And then you see, you know, then you're looking out and you're like, I don't belong to this thing anymore, this group of people anymore. It's way heavier than a show from the 50s or 60s has any right to be in that
I have
regard.
a question based on, like, Jeff's episode I hadn't watched, Dave's episode I hadn't watched. Is the Serling commentary, like, at the beginning and end, is it as hot as I would hope it would be? Like, is it really, like, really good?
It usually is. I mean, I don't think there's one where I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're all like pontificating and
Again, yeah, I'm a guy who doesn't know, so I was just
Yeah.
blown away by the literary kind of genius of his monologues at the beginning and end.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, It's a Good Life, he had a monologue in the middle, which was really fun. Like, they start the episode, again, subverting expectations. They start the episode, and then, like, he does the monologue, like, in the middle of the episode, which was really cool. So I liked that. But yeah, his Sterling's monologues in every episode are super good. So I think I'm very tempted, if anything, to either go find a YouTube montage of his monologues in every episode, like the first one and the second one, because they perfectly summarize the story, like perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In a way that is like you don't get these days. Someone should abso-fucking-lutely, because you really didn't get that in the Twilight Zone movie, and I'm super bummed out about that, because like rewatched it. I had never watched the again since I was a child. Hadn't watched the OG Twilight Zone. You don't get
watched
that, like,
it with purpose, like to watch it for your own sake, to watch it.
Yeah, and I really, really liked it. Like, I have that analytical brain that's like constantly analyzing every little action that every character does. So I really, really enjoyed it, and like his fucking like pontifications, if you will, like at the beginning and the end of each episode, I was in love with them. Like, I was super fucking obsessed with them to a degree. Like, I was like folding clothes today and like watching it, and like folding clothes and watching it. His voice came on. I stopped what I was doing and I stared at the screen, and I was absorbing everything. So I love his narrations.
Well, I just asked.
And he's got a great voice for it.
He does. He really does. Yeah.
Yes. The delivery of it.
It's magnetic. Yeah.
Like, you almost, I feel like you almost don't even need to understand the language to get a feeling from the delivery of it, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Like I said, like Sojourn, like I've seen that in literature maybe 4 times in my life. And so just means like not wanderer, navigator, like person that like travels basically. But it's just it's such a masterclass in literary writing. It's second to none. So I was just curious, because I hadn't watched those episodes. So I was curious if it holds up.
Oh yeah,
episode after episode. I watched 6 of them, and every single time it blew me away. I could listen to that man narrate for fucking ever. So,
well, on the topic of kind of the monologue and kind of episodes we like, I'll bring up one that I'm a big fan of, which is I asked ChatGPT what would be considered one of his best monologues, and it brought up his monologue for the Obsolete Man, which I hands up, anybody watched the Obsolete Man? Oh brother, put that on your watch list, brother. Sorry. Let me
deliver the monologue.
Here's the closing narration, because I mean that's what ChatGPT gave me. The Chancellor, the late Chancellor, was only partly correct. He was obsolete, but so is the state, the entity he worshipped. Any state, any entity, any ideology that fails to recognize the worth, the dignity, the rights of man, that state is obsolete. A case to be filed under M for mankind in the Twilight Zone.
It's hot.
Can we get this episode in the hands of the Trump administration?
They've never they couldn't spell zone, let alone the or Twilight. So,
if I may, my favorite monologue. It's 2 a.m.
Oh my god.
The fear has gone. I'm sitting here waiting. The gun's still warm. Maybe my connection is tired of taking chances. Yeah, there's a storm on the loose. Sirens in my head. Wrapped up in silence, all circuits are dead. Cannot decode, my whole life spins into a frenzy. Help! I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. Place is a madhouse. Feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? Soon you will know when the bullet hits the bone.
Fucking nailed it.
Brother, that was on the level of that. You guys may never have listened to the episode, but we did a UFO episode years ago, and I did. Jeff may remember what's the name of the show, Dave? I'm blanking right now. The William Cat Show. Where he's a superhero. The fucking Greatest American Hero.
Greatest American Hero. I'm sitting here screaming it
Yeah.
pushing start.
I did the whole part of the song, the theme song to that, which is, it goes very well with the UFO abduction case. And I reiterated that to Dave, and he's like, this sounds fucking rad. And I'm like, so it works really good. Any other episodes you guys want to? There's so many episodes. We could literally be in the weeds. But real quick, any other episodes, highlight episodes, and we'll just hit like kind of the core ideas of them before we kind of move on towards the close. I've got so many. I'll hit mine. Let's hit a couple each person, perhaps. Tim, you're kind of the new man on the block. What's some of the ones that you came up with to check out?
Yeah. So, the Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. I didn't watch Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. I should have, because we watched Twilight Zone movie.
You essentially have seen it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was feeling. I wanted to get like more of the greatest hits. 5 Characters in Search of an Exit was fun. The clown. Okay, so yeah, let's touch on that. 5 Characters in Search of an Exit. I loved the clown in that. It was very docile, Joker-esque, in my opinion. Like as a Batman fan, like it was very clearly like he was against the grain the entire time. He went along with it at the end, but like the clown in that episode, the ballerina was just there for sex appeal, and she annoyed me the most. Like I hated her character. But the clown was fantastic. The hobo and the bagpiper were very like go with the grain sort of characters, like what if, and that was cool. And then the major was all this the revolutionary, the dreamer, the guy who wanted to find the escape. I have one caveat to the ending, which was he made to the top of the cylinder and looked around and didn't say a goddamn thing. It's like, in that instance, if I'm in a group of people that are helping me do something, communicate, like just communicate. And like he doesn't, and that annoyed me a lot. I really fucking hated the ending.
So I did not watch that this week or in preparation for this, but I know the episode very well. Do you think it's because the other characters are even though obviously they're trapped in this situation, but they're content to think that they are real life boys, to be
right,
kind of, and then they're not, and that ruins their identity of self if he tells them, "Oh, maybe we're just playthings for and we're just toys, and we don't have this autonomy that we think they really have." Because that's the twist of that episode, is that
Right.
they're just toys in the bottom of a toy box.
See,
so,
I don't know. Because I one weird thing about that episode that I really loved about the ending was how on par the toys were to the actual actors that played them. It was really, really good. Whoever they got to sculpt those toys was a masterclass, because they looked really good. But I don't know. He gets up there. He's still moving. He's still like sitting there, like talking, or at least breathing. At that point, could he realize he was a toy because they were all moving with autonomy and shit like that? I don't know.
We're getting into the weeds right now. We're getting into the weeds heavy. So let's.
I liked it though. I enjoyed it.
I don't know if I've ever watched that one. So I'll have to check that one out. Jeff, any episodes you've watched for this that you would like to bring up?
The first episode, Where is Everybody? I think that's what it was called. Was really good. Which is about this guy who's just kind of walking through this town. He doesn't know his name. He doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't know what's going on. And there's like nobody in this town at all. And he thinks he sees a lady, and he starts talking to her, walks up to her in her car, opens the door, and she's a mannequin. He just falls out to the ground. And he keeps seeing stuff like a cigar smoldering. So he's like, oh, someone's around here somewhere. And so he starts running around this town trying to look for people. He goes to a movie theater, and then the movie starts playing, and then he thinks that there's someone in the projection booth. And he goes up there, and there's no one there. And then to find out he's in a simulation. He's just in a box. So
the first episode.
Very confusing, very anxiety inducing. I felt like
very, very anxiety inducing, because it's just like he's freaking out, like, and apparently he was in the simulation for like 2.5 weeks, and it's all about sending him to the moon because he's going to be there by himself.
That episode is like, I feel like going to the moon would be way easier than what he had to deal with.
At least he knows who he is. He knows he can't talk to nobody, but
yeah, he's not going to be running into mannequins that mirror real life, like in a weird way. Do you think that that's where Doctor Who got the not the don't blink, but there was the other thing with the mannequins.
The statues, that
the automatons or whatever they were. I think that could be a idea from where that, but I don't know like old Doctor Who very well. Where's your GF, Jen? Jeff, goddamn! I combined 7 people in one idea. Dave, let me move on. What is the episode that you've watched this week that you really want to bring up, or maybe you didn't even watch it this week? I don't fucking care. That's an episode that you want to talk about.
I want to bring up Nick of Time, which was not the Johnny Depp movie. Nick of Time, the William Shatner episode. Aw shucks, Jeff. Jeff was like, man, I love that. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. But the episode with William Shatner, him and his fiancée, they're set to get married. They're traveling across the country. In 1959, they're none married yet, and they're traveling across the country together. Maybe he might have even kissed her a time or two before they got married. But they go to this diner, and he puts a penny in the machine on the counter that's got a little devil head, and this gives him a quick like a penny fortune. So he keeps asking it questions. He's like obsessed with this fortune telling machine. And eventually his fiance convinces him to go ahead and leave the town. And then as they do, another couple comes in and asks the machine, "Can we leave yet?" And the machine keeps telling them no. And it's basically the end monologue is, William Shatner decided to tell this machine to fuck off and left this a hellscape that is Ohio. So it was a fun episode, and the little machine is kind of iconic looking. You may have seen it somewhere before and not even recognize it. It looks like a little tiny jukebox, but it's got this bobbled devil head on top of it. That's really cool.
What was the name of that again?
Nick of Time, I believe.
Nick of Time. I know the idea of it. That's to me, that's one of the cool things about the Twilight Zone is, like, you can say the title of it and like I'd be like, I don't know that I've seen that, but then as you describe it, you're like, of course. And I may hit you guys with one now, which is one. They're not all like sci-fi, like, or horror crazy. Sometimes they're kind of a bit. I mean, you could call them positive or uplifting even. And one of my favorites, and I almost guarantee Dave's going to be on my level with this. Maybe Jeff, on a way outlier, maybe Tim. It's called The Hunt. Nobody from the title. Let's okay. A man and his dog. Let's start right there. Anybody? This is a good litmus test for the Twilight Zone. Man and his dog. Quit Googling, Dave. I see ya. I saw them fingies. Man and his dog die while out hunting, and I'll just leave it at this. Maybe the pearly gates aren't what they appear, and maybe man's best friend is man's best friend. Does this not ring a bell to anybody right now?
Nope, I know.
Does he bang the dog?
Jiminy Christmas, Dave.
Do you bang your best friends?
Tim?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Chris and I have never banged.
He's banged my in physicality, but no. Not to get into the weeds. I cannot believe nobody knows of this episode, The Hunt.
Nope.
I'm going to spoil it for you because it's 74 million years old.
Spoil it. Tell us.
Man and his dog die on they're out coon hunting or whatever, and the man has these trials at the pearly gates. Meanwhile, his dog is trying to, like, get his attention, get him away from that, because guess what? His dog is like, hey, yo, that's fucking hell, brother. Get away from there. And his dog in the afterlife saves him from marching into the fucking depths of hell. And
all dogs go to heaven, bro.
It essentially is that. His dog is like, I mean, as beautiful as a Twilight Zone episode can be, I think it's one of the funnest ones if you're an animal lover, because you're like, he gave up heaven because of his best dog friend, and he was protecting him the whole time. It's a great episode. I couldn't recommend it more.
I'll watch it.
And I can't. It's one of those like top ones. I can't believe, because it's not in that sci-fi or horror kind of realm. I mean, obviously, Going to Hell is pretty horror, but I really thought Dave was going to be have seen it. I'm shocked.
I am unaware of this episode, but it sounds like it would be up my alley. I like.
I totally recommend it. The Hunt.
Watching what I have at the Twilight Zone, I really want to. The fuck is that?
Is that Sasquatch?
Push talk.
His name is Push to Talk. First of his kind.
It's got a lot of apostrophes in its name. Push to talk, but it's got a lot of apostrophes in between the vowels.
I don't know why you guys are.
Any other episodes anybody wants to bring up? I mean, I've got some more outliers. If anybody would like to know some, but we got a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I watched
2 more categories.
Just To Serve Man was good because it was like everyone was given this sort of like free ticket to a peaceful life. They didn't realize they were being cattled and like, made for food. I like that because it's much like, not that we've not harped on this enough this episode, the MAGA administration, where it's like, the stock market would do so well under Trump. Oh, fuck, it's crashing. This is Biden's stock market. This is Biden's stock market right now. It's his fault. But, like,
I think it's more an allegory on, veganism and how we treat animals. I love meat. I love cheeseburgers and sausage and chili and all the things, but it really is kind of fucked up. Even as a meat eater, I can admit it's kind of fucked up that if an animal is cute enough, they become a pet and then they become inedible at that point. But cows are cute too, even though
cows
they're
are super cute. Yeah,
and at least in To Serve Man, they treat man as livestock, but they treat them well. That's an indictment on the meat industry in the United States. We treat our food horribly.
They're free grazing, fucking completely organic, range free, humans.
I'm all for ethical husbandry, animal husbandry, and I mean, frankly, I'll try lab grown meat as long as it tastes like meat. I'll try that. I would. I wish I could eat a cheeseburger without the murder of a cow, but I can't. So I will choose the hamburger even with the murder. But I would prefer a hamburger without murder. But a hamburger made of soybeans, not a hamburger.
As somebody who hunts, I don't. Okay, so like killing, like there's like processed cow is in America especially because we do not test all of our meat. A little iffy, weird. I get it. As a hunter, I get it. Like animals hunt other animals. Like it's just a thing. I don't mind that. So like for me, I didn't see it that way. Maybe because I have that background where I hunt shit and I will kill an animal in a hunt. And I eat animals I do not hunt. I 100% will grab beef from the supermarket. Not a pure survivalist. But to me, it felt more like an allegory of like, I hate to use this word because it's used by the right so much, sheeple that like gravitate towards the easiest of outcomes. So if they think that this will benefit them the most, they do zero research into it, because that's what it hit me, is like they were doing research on it and then it started working out for them. So they're like, I'm not going to research this anymore. And then one lady's like, well, I'm still going to look into it. We'll figure it out, whatever. And it's like, she does the research. Oh, fuck, this is a cookbook to serve man. And it's like, oh, fuck, okay, we're all doing the wrong thing now. It's like, that's the allegory that hit me. It was like, they were doing their research. They were trying to figure out if this was a good thing. It started going so well for them, cis white people talking to you. And they started they gave up on the research. They don't give a fuck. Whatever, it's fine. And it's like, what did you say, Jeff?
The Simpsons did it first.
I'm sure.
Treehouse of Horror episode. I'm sorry.
From 1992, when this was made in
Yeah, I'm
1961.
pretty sure Twilight Zone came before.
The Treehouse of Horror looked at the Twilight Zone pretty well, and especially the earlier Treehouse of Horrors. That's a good.
Why haven't you guys done Treehouse? Why have you guys not done?
That'd be a good episode. Oh my god, that'd be so good.
Okay,
that'd be real good.
We're doing that. But the allegory of that, like not doing the research, and then figuring out too far into it that it was all a bad idea, really speaks to me to the MAGA movement, because it's like, again, I'm actually if you're hardcore MAGA, fuck you, I don't care.
Stop. Get the fuck out of our podcast. Stop.
Yeah. You're gone. We don't fucking care. Look at the hat.
You think we're living off these views? Suck a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, I disagree as far as that goes, because there are
Dave's
as
MAGA.
many sheep on the left as well. You know that.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, no,
You're
for
not
sure. For sure.
Yeah, this is not limited to one.
Yeah, no, the left is as corrupt as the right, which is why
if you go far enough, they start to kind of circle back around, like cousins fucking each other. It's so weird.
It's so weird.
It's like, but I'm a different cousin. But no, I'm the same cousin.
Chris has mentioned cousin fucking quite a bit tonight. So
have I?
Twice.
Have I?
Completely. Twice on two. But that's
when
that's
Jeff
what
does
spoke
that to me, I know I've done a little too much. So I'll draw us back in.
Yeah, that's what spoke to me with Unto Serve Man, was the doing research and then stopping research because everything was going well. And then someone does the research still and figures out that we're going down the wrong path. You need to stop. Full stop. So that was
Any other episodes, Dave, Jeff, that you wanna bring up? I mean, there's so many. We'd have to do a hardcore look. I moved the whole goddamn screen. Sorry.
Damn. The Howling Man is a good one. Where yeah.
I love that. I love that episode. Do it.
Traveler hits a castle it's like a monastery castle. He hears a wailing, a howling man, sees the man imprisoned, feels bad for him, comes back later, basically lets him free even though the man is barely caged, and then the man walks off, and turns out it wasn't a man, it was the devil. And the whole allegory is man rarely recognizes the devil when he sees him.
Even when he is told directly that is the devil, he still was like, maybe it's not the devil. Another MAGA fucking thing.
Well, and that actually speaks, I think, just going off that brief synopsis, that speaks more to the left. It's like, you want to help everyone. Not everyone really needs help. Some people are just looking to have a sucker fucking help them out.
You can't be, if you're trying to have a truly tolerant society, you can't, because you have to be intolerant of intolerance to have an inclusive society. But also, this is kind of gives us different perspective on other Rod Serling episodes, because Rod Serling is very much has episodes where just because someone tells you this person, this outsider is the devil, you can't trust that. And then here we have an episode where they tell you he's the devil, and you should have trusted that. So
yeah, I love the Howling Man.
It kind of subverts the own expectations of Rod Serling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what season the Howling Man is? Just off your head?
Googling.
Because that would
Googling.
If it was a later episode, then it's brilliant that he realized that to subvert that idea later. If it's early, then like he already had the idea to subvert what he was already doing, which either way is crazy good.
Season 2, episode 5.
Season 2, episode 5. Damn.
That's. I mean, there's a lot of episodes in season 1.
I posted a few episodes. I feel like we've hit most of them. I kind of, on my end, kind of looked at some what I would call outlier episodes that aren't quite sci-fi or horror, but like The Hunt. Another one. I'll give you two quick ones before we'll kind of start to work our way to the conclusion here. One for the Angels is one. Does anybody know the title? Off the top, Jeff knows. My man Jeff.
Then they turned that into a movie, Angels in the Outfield.
I had a feeling.
Doc Brown's in that one.
I don't know how to pivot right now. But one for the Angels. A not so great salesman tries to outwit death. And then a child's life is involved in this, and he has to become the greatest salesman, essentially. And it's a
fantastic episode.
That is another. These kind of redemption episodes.
I think the Twilight Zone is going to become. It's on my Plex server now. Going to become my my go to bed sort of. Watch an episode before I fall asleep, sort of thing. I'm pretty sure I could fall asleep to Rod Serling's voice, for eternity. That man's voice is just so.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cathartic. It's so fucking cathartic.
Yeah.
Little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, but was its fleece white as snow, or is that just what she wanted you to believe?
In the Twilight Zone. Beer tug, get down here.
You got too much pitch on the end of the snow there, but it was good.
Last one I want to bring up as kind of my outlier episodes. If you've not seen them, check these out, because they don't go in the horror or sci-fi things, but they're totally worth seeing. Walking Distance. Anybody? Does that ring a bell? Okay, it is a man finds himself, I want to say his car's broke down or something like that. His car's getting worked on at a gas station, and he realizes he's just down the road from his old hometown as a boy. And he walks down and realizes he has time traveled to his old hometown, and essentially, can you relive those good old days? Can you go back to what it was from where you are now? It's one of those I guess I identify with these identity of self episodes they're really, he was hitting some nails on some heads, I will say. So check out Walking Distance. I think it's
I will say I went to Fountain Square today, which is where I lived my year. You lived in a fountain? Did. I lived my year 15 and 16-year-old years in Fountain Square. Found a dead body in the alley of my house when I was 16. So that happened. It's cleaned up now. I think I would rather live where it is now than where it was when I was there. So
that would be a cool Jordan Peele take on that episode.
Right. Gentrification. That's called gentrification, and it's bad.
I miss the dead bodies.
It was not good. Seeing a dead person face down in some gravel. It not good for my childhood.
Wait, I thought it was a fountain.
But it happened.
Stella, Jeff, and she who shall not be named were walking around downtown Indianapolis and saw a freshly dead motherfucker. And I was like, "There's a dead body over there," and everyone's like, "Nah, you're just drunk." There was a fucking dead body over there.
Yeah, when you hear gunshots,
shot dead right outside the Stick and Shake.
when you hear gunshots at 2 a.m. and then you walk out at like 8 a.m. and see a dead body in the alley behind your house, you should probably call someone at 2:05 a.m. just to check. But
well, anyways, what was I saying? Walking Distance, great episode.
I was just saying, like, sometimes it works in the reverse.
Yeah,
you visit your childhood, and it's not as good as what is currently there.
That's a good juxtaposition.
I don't remember the name of the episode, there's one really good episode where there's an actor. He's an actor in a TV show.
Dave, you are
but
very
he-
quiet. Has your mic ran away from you a little bit?
I don't believe so.
It feels that way. Continue.
I have not changed any settings.
I have turned you up so
But,
much tonight. It's so weird.
Weird.
Continue.
There is
continue.
an episode where this actor, he begins to blur the lines. He forgets that he's an actor. He thinks that's his real life, and then I think at the end he like drives off into the like sunset, if I remember right, and just disappears and like goes to live in this fantasy world of his imagination.
Daniel Day-Lewis, and he becomes a cobbler. Daniel Day-Lewis makes shoes in Italy now, guys. Just so you know.
If any actor could time travel
Daniel Day-Lewis.
just for a role, absolutely.
He's a cobbler. That's what he does now.
But he only makes shoes for your left foot. Oh, got it.
It's a left foot as long as your left foot is actually your right foot. It's really he's as long as you have backwards big toes, he makes shoes for you.
I was making a My Left Foot reference. If anyone's ever seen that movie.
I have seen that movie, the polio movie. I've seen it.
I have no desire to watch.
Nor should anyone.
All right, let's bring this towards the
Let's bring it home. Chris, I'm amped. Let's bring it home because I'm super excited. I found a new TV show that I really, really love. I watched these episodes. I genuinely loved them. The themes speak to today's society, which lets me know that, like Dave's monologue earlier, it's reciprocal. We go through these ages of uniformity and like trying to be something that we're not. And then we break free from those chains and we come to an enlightenment of peace and harmony. And watching these literally gave me levity for our current situation. It's like, right. My wife is very, very entrenched in politics. So she's angry a lot, as one should be. But I try to be the rock. I try to be steady and say, like, run the course. Like, we're going to be okay. Like, all that shit. Inwardly, I'm very much magma and volcano. Like, I will erupt at the time that is necessary. I erupt at work a lot. It's fun. At work, they whisper around me. They don't talk around me because they know that I'll fucking like shit on their beliefs, and it's real fun for me. But the amount of gravity this weighs on current society. I looked at the five most, like, our 6 most famous episodes and watched them, and they all spoke to today's climate. And it's amazing to me that can do that in like 1959 to 1963. That's amazing.
That's 64, brother. What do you mean? You don't like us at work? You don't like us at work? How come? What do you mean?
I didn't watch anything from 1964, but
I'm saying that's how long it ran, and I'm doing a MAGA thing for your people at work, so you can
for sure
carpet. It's the MAGA hat. Hold on, the Stars and Stripes.
It's really a Return of the Living.
It's hard
Return
to
of the Living Dead thing.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do.
But the levity that it brings me as a left-leaning person, it's really, really good. Like it lets me know, like, even like though as millennials and Gen Xers and shit like that, we like shit on the previous generations. There were still people in this generations that were fighting against this sort of oppression. Yeah, and I fucking love that. Dude, it spoke so hard to me. So, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're a millennial like myself, millennial activist or Gen Xer that has lost all will for fucking fighting it. Dave's a Gen Xer, and he's fighting that shit every day. Every fucking day.
Am I? I don't even know what I.
You're Gen X for sure. The beard says Gen X for sure. I don't know if you're actually Gen X, but the beard speaks Gen X.
My son Gary has the longest beard I've ever seen in my whole life. He ties his shoes with his beard, I believe.
But yeah, so good.
Saying names. But to end real quick. I want to talk
Gen X 60.
There's some blurring of lines. Like I'm a millennial, but I'm like at the very tip of the beginning. So some people say I'm a zennial. Also you, Jeff, because we're the same. But some lasting influences I want to talk about for a sec before we kind of give our overall thoughts on the zone. Obviously Black Mirror. If you've watched Black Mirror, clearly influenced by Twilight Zone. The Outer Limits. I'm not sure the original air date. I think it was in response to the Twilight Zone. It was in that era, but 90s Outer Limits is one of my favorites. But Tales from the Crypt, Are You Afraid of the Dark, all these anthology shows since the Twilight Zone I feel like owe a debt to Alfred Hitchcock Presents and the Twilight Zone, both more than anything. And that is to say, maybe my favorite show of all time, The X-Files. You get into these mythology episodes, this overarching story, which is cool and everything, but in a way, I kind of like the Monster of the Week episodes, which are very much more Twilight Zone oriented.
Supernatural started off that way. Monster of the Week, season 1, it was Monster of the Week. Every single episode was super great. And then it fucking fell off the rails and became Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So fuck you, Supernatural. Keep Monster of the Week, make it 3 seasons. Fuck you.
They didn't bob and weave with it? They didn't go like, here's a couple.
No. They did. They did. They did like season 2, season 3. They did like Monster of the Week that season. But like season 1 was perfect. 2 brothers out there fighting different monsters every week. That's fucking dope. And then season 2 and 3, it's like, let's get into this overarching fucking like we hate our daddy, but we love our daddy bullshit. No, fuck you. Chris, I'm in your window.
Hi.
Hey.
I don't know how to move it back right now. So that's just where it is. Jeff, Dave, lasting influence on media, on movies, TV. What are you feeling? While I try to fix this camera.
I think you could just look at the long line of Twilight Zone imitators. Outer Limits, Tales from the Dark Side, which had more of a horror theme. I would even say Monsters.
Ooh, yes.
So there are so Black Mirror. There's so much imitation. You know, they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and you definitely have it here. Rod Serling did serve in the Army in World War II. He was a paratrooper, which was fucking
insanity.
Yeah, because the planes had to fly at a certain height. They were loud as fuck, so everyone heard them coming, and you paratrooped out with giant.
That's SEAL Team 6 shit.
Target.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that's SEAL Team 6 shit, guys. Paratroopers in World War II were the elite.
So he came back with from war with a different sense of humanity and a feeling of, we need to come together so we don't. Every generation doesn't have to go through this.
I feel like. Go ahead, Dave.
Real quick, I just saw today in my regular feed. It was a Neil deGrasse Tyson interview, and he's pointed out if a school bus crashes and 10 people are killed today. That's national news for a day, state news for a week, local news for a month. And during World War II, 1,000 people were dying every hour of the day, 24 hours of the day, for 6 years. It's insane, and we have conflict today. Our wars today are not as deadly because we don't just, use people as human bullet wasters.
Unless you're Russia.
True, the paper tiger is real, and if Ukraine got 10% of the actual support they deserved, that war would be over. And our biggest enemy would be gone. So it's ridiculous, but he just came out of that. Instead of being angry or hateful towards another group, he said, we need to put this aside so other generations don't have to follow suit.
Right.
And unfortunately, Rod, rest in power, brother. We failed you.
So far, we're not done yet.
We're done yet.
All we are saying is give peace a chance.
I was going to hang on to your beard, but it ended too soon. Jeff, any final thoughts on that area of it? The lasting on TV shows, on media, on people in general? Any thoughts from you?
Did anybody mention Night Gallery?
No, we've not.
No.
That was very similar.
I
watched
barely
Rollins
watched it.
Gallery.
Also, Evil, the first season, CBS show. It's kind of like a monster anthology, but they debunk the monsters, which is fun. It's like a turn on its head sort of thing.
But
I really like that show. We should discuss that show at some point because somebody thinks the lead chick is not fuckable, and she's clearly fuckable.
She's not. She is not.
That show. Jeff, you got some catching up to do on that one. I'm barely I see the top of the weeds, but these guys are in the weeds. Me and you will have to do some catching up. But
she is.
We may not want to.
No.
We may not want to. But we'll see. We'll see. Jeff, any final words for you on the lasting impact of it? I think I agree with these fellows as well. What's been brought up. So let's end it here. Actually, before we end it here, I know we appear like we are in color, but we've not been in color this whole time. That's what's fucking weird. That's weird that you would do that. Submitted for your approval. 4 hosts, 4 mics, and a detour through the eerie
Do we rate this?
echoes of mid-century TV. They crack jokes and question life, both theirs and the characters. And they discover that even the weird episodes of the Twilight Zone still hit hard. Sometimes harder than expected. That's not quite Rod Serling expression. I'm going a different direction. This is Chris Serling, porn star extraordinaire in some circles. They're not podcast hosts, not simply podcast hosts. They're unwitting passengers on a weekly train bound for the Twilight Zone, or at the very least, Twitch or YouTube or something. Fuck, I don't know. Amen. Good night, brother.
I love that. I would like to point out, hey, YouTube, we had less push to talk issues than we had Chris switching scene issues tonight.
Wait, is that a good thing? I have had...
No, it's just funny to me because it's like you've been running the show for however long.
17 years.
20.
There's the fucking noise in my ears.
We won't have that next week, so I have to worry about muting it.
And no, like we all got forced to push to talk, part of our change in protocol, whatever that was. And then
I think that was somebody following.
that was Dave. I can tell it was Dave.
Oh, it wasn't a follow? Shit. Oh, sad face.
But
Why don't you follow right now on YouTube?
I will say we have had less push talk issues than we've had Chris pushing buttons randomly to get us to the correct scene, which I think is funny because Chris has been so invested in this. It's funny to me. So I will say I have noticed a lot more of switching to the face cams tonight. A lot more of that, and I've dug it quite a bit. Yeah, I'm watching YouTube, baby.
The duration's a little bit slower than I would like because I had to make do for this transition, which took me 70 years. What is that? I don't know what this blurry thing is. That's a new thing. That's not supposed to happen. But anyway, it's cooler than what I wanted.
Jeff and I were on board the first time you did it. Jeff and I were laughing our asses off. I feel so shitty. And you fucking switched to green. I was like, I saw Jeff laughing. I was laughing. I was like, okay, me and Jeff see it for sure.
I did it before we went to the news, but I don't know if anybody caught my flickering of the black and white on just me. Did you?
I didn't see it for the news. I
only did it a little bit, and I was like, don't let your drunk ass get ahead of itself and do it too much so it's obvious.
Yeah, we caught on the first time. I feel weird. I was watching your camera. I was like, and I saw it, and me and Jeff started laughing at the same time. I was like, okay, Jeff saw it too.
That's what I
Jeff
do
saw
it
it
for.
too.
And then
Also, guys, just non-Patreon viewers, how you doing? Jeff hates Alfred Hitchcock. Okay, can't say anything. Okay, I'm working on it. I'll get there, guys.
I like this new system of putting Jave and Jeff.
Jafe? Jafe creamy peanut butter. You know what I'm saying?
Choosing, ma'ams, choose Jeff. Since you've made it this far and we're just rambling now, Tind, if you stuck around this long, why don't you like the video or subscribe or share it? Would be great. If you want to like join the Patreon that maybe exists by this point or not, you should do that.
We will also respond to your comments. There's 4 of us. One of us will respond. We'll even say like, hey, this is Tim responding. I really like your comment about how Chris is wrong on a certain point. I would love that if you could just do that for me on a regular basis. It'd be great.
God, I went out I went out like a fucking puff of weed smoke right there.
I love that. But guys, really, for me, honestly, if you could just tell Chris that he's wrong on a regular basis, it would really mean a lot to me, okay? So thank you very much.
I think that would hurt Tim worse than Chris.
It probably would. I feel like, no, Chris is right. Stop doing that to him. Stop belittling my best friend. Please stop. I'll be on there like just shitting on everyone. Like if you shit on Chris, I'll be upset.
Dave, don't sing Arms of an Angel, but sing something really sad real quick.
Where did you come from?
Why have you hurt me, Tim? Why have you hurt me? Like this? Like this right now?
Did you come from?
I'm so hungry, Tim, please.
Who did you blow, Cotton Eye Joe?
It's cold outside, Tim. Let me inside.
That is his button, though, guys. Just to let you know.
Don't.
That's his button. It's 100% your button.
Speaking of my button,
as a person that games with Chris constantly, Chris gives his opinion very rarely, but when he gives it, it's valid. It's a good opinion. If you disagree,
Let's
with
end on
it,
that. I am valid, maybe the
fucking
most
falls
valid.
apart.
Do you validate Park?
Not currently, but send it to your congressman. We can work it out.
I would like to say real quick before we end, this is the best episode we've ever done.
Hot take.
While I've been here. No, it's been really good. Like, everyone has like fucking like given great opinions. Everyone's chimed in on every fucking thing. It's been great. I love this. This has been fantastic. So I think the state of the board
Slow
meeting
down,
we
dude.
had,
I'm married.
it's been great. This has been a great episode.
I hate to disagree, but I agree. I do
Okay.
agree. I don't
It's been
disagree.
a great fucking episode.
Hey, I'm not hating.
It's a great episode. I love this. I didn't even push one of Jeff's buttons. I was thinking about it earlier when you were saying, like, you're a big Alfred Hitchcock fan. I looked up Alfred Hitchcock fucking facts.
Tim's never heard of
bring
him.
Up. I know who Alfred Hitchcock is. I know who he is. I looked up facts, like really obscure facts. I was gonna like test him, but he kept like he kept like poking. So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna test on it. Not on this one. You guys brought it
Just
up like
don't
a second
Google
time.
Alfred Hitch's cock.
No, I did. It was good. I lasted about 90 seconds. But I
That calls for this. If anything,
That's my crack.
that works. You know what else
But,
calls
yeah.
for that? Jeff at Whorehound got a really cool Alfred Hitchcock poster. You've not shown that on the show. You need to show that on the show sometime.
Yeah, Jeff, you're slacking, man. Next week we'll.
And Jeff won't have to censor his like I'll have to censor this fucking card of porcupine titties. It was still sitting beside me, so I got to move it.
Next week, though, if Hitchcock comes up, I'm gonna be like, oh, do you know when he got polio? The year he got polio? Do you know that? He never got polio. I just throwing shit out there.
All right, but to end it off, you stuck around this long. Come back next Thursday, 8:30 ish.
8:40.
Sometimes
The
we're
time
froggy.
schedule says at 8:40.
I may have changed it. I don't know. I don't know how to read after it's been written. That's a thing. Read it in the DSM-4. I don't know. Come back Thursdays, 8:30 to 9, and then we'll be here for like 7 hours after that, give or take.
We will have
and
additional content on YouTube starting this week. I will send it to Chris. He'll upload it on. I think we're deciding Tuesdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
We'll leave some fancies free. We'll figure it out as we.
But I'll play some horror games for you guys and talk to myself and do some bullshit. So it'll be fun.
2 out of the half of us have sunglasses on to end the show. We're just waiting to end the show.
Jet. Oh,
You're so
there
bright.
we go.
We will see you guys next Thursday. Same cemetery, different grave. Let's get a. Say bye, Jeff.